Now we're going to go through how to complete the implicit acceptance process. Again, implicit is programmatic only. The implicit acceptance process is a two-program process. And it's two programs because one deals with pre-billing, expiration date validation, and then the other program deals with post-billing, expiration date validation. So you run the two programs in a request set, which is set up, it's seeded. You can create your own, but initially there's a seeded request set and you can submit that or schedule it to run in the background and process your acceptances as needed. Here's an example, once the implicit acceptance program has been run, how the sales order line reflects it actually being a valid transaction to be accepted. The implicit customer acceptance flag is checked, which means yes, it's been accepted. You'll notice that the customer acceptance date of February 18th has been populated as well. It also shows who accepted it, the CA by, customer accepted by, and then the customer accepted quantity of 1 also shows that over there. Okay? Some things to keep in mind in terms of acceptance. For implicit acceptance, as we said in the screenshot going over the process, it consists of two concurrent programs. The first one, Generate Pre-Billing Acceptance Program, is explicitly tied to pre-billing acceptance. It goes out and says everything that's pre-billing, implicit, let me see that set of data. Has my expiration date based on my attributes been met in anything or passed? Okay, for anything that's it's passed, go ahead and flag it as accepted and then let it go into invoicing and then revenue recognition. On the post-billing side, the revenue contingency analyzer goes and says, okay, everything that's post-billing, let's go out and see its event attributes and its expiration dates. Okay, those are accepted now. So now I want to go back into the original revenue recognition assignments that are all in unearned, and I want to reassign them in the appropriate revenue accounts. Another thing to keep in mind with implicit acceptance, as I was going over before, is the expiration date. It's completely inclusive of the timestamp value for the related event attribute. So for example, if your ship confirm date is the event attribute and the expiration date is 1, if I ship confirm on February 17th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the implicit acceptance request set will not process the related sales order line for acceptance until February 18th at 2 p.m. or later. You can run it as many times as you want before that, it will do nothing. Some helpful hints in terms of managing your open acceptances or your pending acceptances. There is a seeded customer acceptance report within the order management report listings. You have a variety of attributes you can run it by: accepted, pending, post-billing, pending, pre-billing, or rejected. And within those criteria, you have additional parameters to sort by. You can sort it by customer, you can sort it by date, and all those results are shown. Once you actually submit it, I have an example of sample output to see how you can use it to help manage your open acceptances. Here's an example. It comes PDF'd, but here's an example of the sample output. You'll notice I ran it for everything basically that was I think pending. I believe that was what it was. So on my output, it shows me, okay, it's broken by customer because that was my sort criteria. So for Business World, I have this order number. I have 3 that are fulfilled. You'll notice I'm going from left to right. Shows me my item. I have a filled quantity of 3, accepted quantity of 0, rejected quantity of 0, and pending quantity of 3. So it showed me I do have something open. The catch here, which this is a standard report by Oracle, and I don't know if the way I ran it is eliminating data from the view or this is just the standard result. Fulfilled quantity, it would be helpful for a user to see the fulfilled date. The other thing that would be helpful for a user in managing acceptances, yes, I have nothing accepted and nothing rejected, and I have 3 pending. Do I have an event attribute tied to this acceptance, and what are my expiration days? I know from my PO that this is implicit and it's 1 day, but a user most likely is not going to have that information in their PO. So it would be helpful to have that type of information in the report output as well for a user. So this might be something you could extend through XML and actually make more functional in terms of acceptance management. Now we're going to briefly go over the revenue recognition process. And the reason I say briefly is I'm not an accountant, so this is just my visual and in brief explanation to you on how the revenue is tracked and captured as a result of this process, just so you can actually see that it's not vaporware and going into a black hole. Here's an example of an order, and this is again the revenue accounting side of things. I'm over in Receivables under Revenue Management in Revenue Accounting, and I've pulled it up by sales order 66400 up in the reference field. And you can see that initially this transaction has all of the revenue or all of the funds tied to the unearned revenue account. So to me, just from looking at it on the line distribution side, I can already tell that there's something holding my revenue from being captured or recognized at this point. In the next screen, you'll see that I changed my selection list to line revenue contingencies, which, remember, that was part of the thing, revenue contingencies, deferral reasons, acceptance names. And from selecting that, I can see that my contingency is post-bill implicit, and I can see that it's tied to customer acceptance, and my event attribute is ship confirm and 1 date, and my estimated expiration date is February 18th of 2010. Now you'll notice that this is post-bill implicit, so this is saying, okay, 1 day after the ship confirm date, the implicit request that will run, and I expect it to actually expire on February 18th within that full 24-hour window after my ship confirm has been completed. And this is all programmatically defaulted in based on what has been set up in the system. The user's not keyed any of this information in at all.